And I am going to go on a little rant today because I am still like blown away by what happened in the world of real estate this past Tuesday. So if you don't know, there was a class action lawsuit of home sellers against the National Association of Realtors, as well as some big brokerages like Keller Williams and Home Services of America. And basically, what these home sellers were doing is suing the National Association of Realtors and these other brokerages over commissions, specifically the buyer commission. And so typically, when somebody lists their home for sale and they're using a real estate agent and it's going in the MLS, that home seller usually offers to pay for the buyer agent commission. It's just part of the deal. And so the sellers have an issue with paying the buyer's agent commission through the proceeds of their sale. So the question then becomes with this whole lawsuit, because these home sellers were awarded $1.8 billion. $1.8 billion, which is insane. And now there's even more lawsuits to come. So a jury awarded or decided on the side of the home sellers. And so this is going to create like a major issue in the world of real estate, because if you think about it, home buyers agents need to get paid. I mean, they're straight commission, right? So they need to get paid for their services. And a listing agent and a buyer agent are so important to a transaction. I can't tell you how many transactions I've seen where either a seller went for sale by owner and left a ton of money on the table because he did not use a real estate agent, or a buyer agent went on their own and tried to do it on their own, and then either, lost their escrow because they don't know contracts, they don't know all the dates in the contracts, or had issues during a home inspection, or don't know how to negotiate home inspections or low appraisals or all of these other things. And so when you work with a good real estate agent, okay, those real estate agents are trained. They're not just, oh, go get my license. I'm not saying all of them are not, great. There's some that are not good, but that's any profession. But the good ones, okay, the good ones are doing training, continuing education classes, usually in some sort of coaching program on how to help buyers get the properties, with the least amount out of pocket for them, and how sellers can also maximize their proceeds from the sale. So the use of a listing agent and a buyer agent in a transaction is so incredibly important. So the question becomes, who's paying the buyer agent commissions if that is no longer going to be a thing? Now, I know it's going to be years probably down the road for it to really come to fruition. And I know that NAR and they're going to appeal. So who knows what's going to happen with this? But I just want to bring it up because it's so incredibly it's really going to affect our market. And if you think about it, when a home seller lists their home for sale, okay, when they're going to sell their home, yes, they're paying the buyer agent commission, but when they go to buy a home, they're not paying any commission. And on the buyer side of it, and then typically they have enough equity to cover all of that stuff, right? On the buyer side of it, it has gotten so hard for buyers to buy a home right now, okay? Because first of all, lending guidelines are super tight, so they're having to put more money down on a home than what they had to before. The days of the 80-20 loans are long gone. That was back in 2006, 7, and 8, so no more, right? So they have to put more money down on a home. The other problem is they also have all of their closing costs. Now, if they have to, in the mortgage market today, a lot of them are having to pay upfront points because our rates are so, jacked up, because we had years in like the 2, 3, and 4% range, right? So now they're having to pay points, extra closing costs. Imagine now tacking a 3% buyer agent, normal agent commission on top of what they already have to pay. If these sellers want to get their homes sold, right, then they should offer the commission to the buyer's agents, because what's going to happen is these buyers are not going to be able to buy a home. And I also don't think that they realize, right, how important a buyer agent is in a transaction. A buyer agent does so many things, not just finding them the home. I'm sure there's a lot of home buyers that will come and say, oh, here's the home that I want. It's, on 123 Main Street. I love this home. And the buyer, goes and looks at the property. Yep, I want it. And then they think, oh, I just basically did all the work. The real estate agent didn't really do anything. Well, the real work comes in from contract to close. The real work comes in then, because not only do you have to know your way around a contract, okay? Not only do you have to have strong negotiating skills, you also need to know certain addendums and certain things that go in the contract. For example, if you're buying a home with furniture in the property and you're getting a mortgage, there has to be certain verbiage in that contract in regards to the personal property in order for that to get through underwriting. The good buyer agents, they know that. They know how to write that into the contract. For seller concessions, if the seller's willing to pay towards the buyer's closing costs, here's the thing. That has to be written into the contract a certain way in order for that money to be used. And if it's not written a certain way, it can't be used and it won't get through underwriting with the mortgage, right? A good buyer agent knows that. A good buyer agent is going to know how to renegotiate after inspections. A good buyer agent is going to know what to do when an appraisal comes in low, okay? Or maybe what to do if an appraisal comes in higher. There's certain things that we can do to help the buyer with their costs if appraisal comes in higher. So, and also, if you think about it, convenience. There are so many people, think of travel, right? I love to travel and I do a lot of my own travel, figuring out my travel thing, but there's so many people that use a travel agent. Why? Convenience. So it's just blowing my mind, how this could actually happen. And it's gonna take a long time before it all comes to fruition. If you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, just Google NAR real estate $1.8 billion lawsuit, home sellers against National Association of Realtors, and you will see what I'm talking about. But I really think we have to, as a community, understand how important listing agents are, how important buyer agents are to a transaction, and not let this affect our real estate market, because when it affects our real estate market, it affects everybody, whether you're looking to buy a home or sell a home now, or you're looking to buy a home or sell a home 5, 10, 15 years from now. It's going to affect everybody, and it's going to affect our real estate economy. So that is my rant for today. I am committed to posting why real estate agents, specifically buyer agents, are so important over the next 2 weeks, because there are so many things that they do, and I just really want people to understand how important a buyer agent and a listing agent is in the transaction. I know a lot of people think, oh, they're overpaid, but you don't understand everything that goes into it, and that they own a business. They are their own business. They're straight commission. They have expenses just like every other business, marketing, staff, even if it's a single agent, right? They're usually using a virtual assistant. There's coaching, training, becoming better at their craft. So just had to get this out because it's really annoying to me that this even came up, and I know it's really annoying to a lot of other people out there, but want to bring it to everybody's attention because it is something that is going to really affect the real estate market in the future. Who knows what's going to happen? It could be a long time coming. Like I said, they are planning on an appeal, but now more lawsuits are popping up. So who knows what's going to happen? Let's work to keep our real estate market strong. Real estate markets are cyclical. They're always going to be up and down. 2 years ago, and homes were flying off the shelf, right? I knew that there was going to be a downturn because I owned a real estate company in 2008, as well as a mortgage company. So I've already been there, guys. But anyways, just want to kind of like make everybody aware of this. If you have thoughts on it, comment below. But let's work to keep our real estate market strong. Let's work to keep these properties, moving, getting buyers into their dream home, getting sellers moved to where they want to go. And that's it. That's my rant for this